Hey, it's Corey from Mahalo.com. You're about to see some screen tests of people who applied to be the host for our cooking channel. This is your chance to comment and tell us who you'd like to see become the new host for cooking. If you think you could do a better job and you live in the LA area, we encourage you to submit an online response telling us why you could be the next great Mahalo host. We really appreciate your feedback.
Hey, what's up? I am Dan Crane, and I love the grill. I love being next to a hot grill. Nothing makes me happier. I grew up, basically, my dad owned a barbecue restaurant in Denver, Colorado. It was called Gator Magoon's, and it was the best barbecue in the land as far as I was concerned. And so I kind of grew up with hickory smoke in my veins. Barbecued ribs, barbecued duck, chicken, anything you could smoke, they smoked it. And so I got obsessed with grilling then. I just grew up, by the fire and, training the hard way, deep in the heat. And that's what I love. I think if you have the fire in your heart for the fire on the grill, you can become a genius grillmeister. Now that being said, I have worked in a lot of restaurants. I worked for I'm spacing on his name, very famous chef, whose name I'm not remembering right now. I've worked for a lot of chefs. I've worked in restaurants. I love, one of the favorite things for me to cook on the grill is a rack of lamb, okay? A lot of people think you gotta do that in the oven. It turns out actually it's pretty amazing on the grill, and it's incredibly simple, okay? Basically what you wanna do is you take a rack of lamb and you give it a little olive oil, maybe some garlic, some fresh herbs, whatever you got, what it could be rosemary, thyme, sage. Lather that on there, maybe a little bit of Dijon mustard, and then you want to put it basically right next to the heat, okay? You're going to have it fat side up, and it's going to be right next to the heat, but you don't want to put it on top of the heat, or it'll catch on fire and be a gigantic mess, so you don't want that. So right next to the heat, do it for about 15 minutes, flip it over another 15 minutes, and you'll be surprised at the magic that you can churn out with a rack of lamb. All right, well, the crazy thing that some people don't know about me, I mean, yes, I'm a grill meister, I love grilling. The other kind of weird thing about me is that I am also known as the world's most famous competitive air guitarist. Bjorn to Rock is my stage name. So I've been around the world in air guitar competitions. I starred in this documentary called Air Guitar Nation. So I learned how to shred with an invisible guitar, and I've got a lot of friends out there that are fans of the air guitar. Now you say to yourself, well, what does that have to do with grilling? I think it has everything to do with grilling because it's about heat, cranking up the heat, right? Blazing a trail on your air guitar is very similar to lighting up a hot grill and firing up some meat.
All right, my name's Johnny J. I'm 25 years old, live here in Los Angeles, California. Side profile for you. I think that I'm fully qualified to be a master griller because I've been working since I was a little kid behind grills, barbecues outside with my dad. Moved down to Los Angeles, went to school at Long Beach State, and I worked as like a short order cook at a burger joint. Then I work now at Animal Restaurant here in Los Angeles on Fairfax between Beverly and Melrose. It's a restaurant there where our main focus is meat, primarily pork. I barbecued everything from salmon, shrimp, scallops just on backyard campfires to whole pigs for weddings where it's a residual heat, big grills. I would say I've been cooking since I was 10, probably grilling since I was 12, and I'm 25, so what's that, 13 years? My favorite recipe is a Coca-Cola braised pork rib. And this is how you would prepare it. It's very easy. You take a slab of pork ribs, you cut it up into sections, maybe about 3 or 4 ribs per section, put it in a heavy-duty Ziploc bag. Pour 1 Coca-Cola, about 4 tablespoons of salt, tablespoons about the size of your palm, so just 4 tablespoons of salt, 3 tablespoons of pepper, shake it up in the bag. So it's Coca-Cola, salt, and pepper. Shake it up in the bag. Put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. Let it sit there, let it kind of marinate. You're gonna let the carbonation of the Coca-Cola and the sugar of the Coca-Colas break down the fats of the ribs. You're gonna take them out. You're gonna put them in any kind of tray that you have that you can bake. It's gotta have a little bit of a lip on it to catch the juices. Throw it in the oven at 250 for like 4 hours. So real slow. Anything that you're doing slow, you're gonna be able to maintain it. You're gonna be able to kind of regulate what you're doing and you're not gonna burn it. So cook it real slow for about 4 hours. The last hour, start your coals up in your Weber. So you're getting a nice kind of a heat base. Take them out, quickly throw them on the grill, just give them some color, not a huge deal. Maybe 3-4 minutes on either side. Take them off, cut them up, serve them up.
My name is Bo Harris. Primarily what I've done before for teaching on film has been with automotive, adventure, survival, things like that. But it is something that I'm very aware of how to do and how to structure the speaking. What I do have is with the series that I have coming up on the biography channel is a built-in fan base coming from network television already. And it's not just a series where it's me as an actor, it is me as myself doing hosting work from that adventure documentary series. So it's already me in a teaching, presenting fashion that will be able to bring some viewership from a major national distribution to the series here. As far as barbecue, I worked professionally as a barbecue chef for about 4 or 5 years. It was mainly commercial barbecue, so I was dealing with large smokers with charcoal and the different types of soaked woods for long-term smoking, and 24 hours for a brisket, all the way down to the sausages. Also some of the pressure smokers. As far as teaching, I've worked in teaching English for about a year and a half, tutoring various nationalities of people in New Zealand. So I'm very used to breaking things down to its absolute simplest form, because not only am I used to dealing with people who are new to a specific subject, but I'm used to people who are younger, or because of the language barrier a lot of the time with, I worked primarily with Koreans, you have to break it down into the absolute smallest, most understandable steps to make it accessible to absolutely everybody. My favorite recipe that I enjoy making is a nice elk flank steak that is marinated with, you do Worcestershire sauce, add in a nice stout beer. I prefer Tasman stout. What you want is primarily something with a smoky or chocolate flavor to work on some deeper undertones that will go beneath where the Worcestershire sauce does, and really bring out some of the more gamey textures that exist within the elk. With that, you want to combine a little bit of garlic, some tarragon, and marinate the whole thing in a bag for about 24 hours while the meat is still raw. Slice it up, allow it to sit for roughly another hour so that you can get the juices to really permeate every piece of the meat. While you're barbecuing it, you're going to do it on a standard charcoal grill. If you like, you can do maybe a little bit of soaked oak on there to provide even more of a smoky texture, if that's the kind of taste that you really enjoy. And you're going to do that for about an hour on you don't want the red coals, you want the nice white coals that are starting to peter out almostly, so you're slow cooking it. Don't use a top on it because you want to be able to sear the outside of it with the hot grill from the coals that have been burning for a very long time, but you don't want it to get so hot that you lose a lot of the moisture from the meat. The entire time that you are cooking this over the hour, about every 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to want to take a little bit of that marinade from the bag that you put the elk in and baste it over the top of the elk to keep the moisture in, keep the flavor coming. And after that hour, you just want to pull the flank steak, slice it, and serve right away.